Hey photographer, Jessica Whitaker here. We're going behind the scenes on a maternity photo shoot where I'm going to be sharing my top tips and tricks for posing maternity clients. Thank you to Squarespace for sponsoring this free photography video and making it possible. If you're a photographer looking to showcase your work, book more clients, and grow your business, Squarespace is the all-in-one platform that you need. It's the easiest way to build a professional online presence and manage everything in one place, from portfolios to stores to blogging and even email marketing. As a photographer, having a polished professional website is everything because it's the first impression that potential clients get of your work. That's why I've been using Squarespace for the last 10 years, yes, 10 years, to manage my online presence. One feature that I love are their flexible website templates. They're specifically designed to showcase visual work like ours, and you can start with a beautifully curated template and then customize it completely, colors, fonts, layout, so it feels like your brand. But Squarespace has launched Blueprint AI, and I actually created my own website for my branding program, lightscamerabrand.com, using it. Blueprint AI totally rivals popular drag and drop website platforms. With Squarespace, blogging isn't just about posting your galleries. It's a powerful tool to boost your search rankings. Their built-in SEO features make optimizing your content so simple. You can add keywords, meta descriptions, and alt text for your photos in just a few clicks, which helps your site rank higher and get discovered by potential clients. If you're ready to build a website that does it all, head to squarespace.com to start your free trial. And when you're ready to launch, go to squarespace.com/Jessica Whitaker to get 10% off your first purchase of a website or a domain. Let's get started with the most basic thing, is that you always want to highlight the bump, right? And depending on the garment, it's going to depend on how you adjust the bump. So I'm going to have you put your hands underneath the bump for me. Now, when I look at this, it looks great, but sometimes, depending on if there's a lot of fabric or not, you will have to almost tuck the fabric right underneath, as well as underneath the breast. So in this case with the dress, it already has like the cinching right underneath the breast, so we don't have to define that. But if she was in something long and flowy, you'd want to have the top hand right here and tuck in the fabric. So I'm going to take a look at this and I'm going to say, okay, this looks amazing. This brings me to, we always want to create shape with whatever subject, right? But in the case of maternity, we have like the 3 B's. We have the boobs, the butt, and the bump. And so we want to create beautiful shape with that. And with posing women, we also want to create triangles, which is what's going to kind of lead the eye into the bump or onto the face. So in this case, I'm going to have you, Caroline, I'm going to have you bring your arm a little bit further away from your body, so you can still hold the bump, but just kind of rotate, swing your elbows out ever so slightly. Yes, beautiful. So I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, this is so pretty, but in the photo, I'm not going to see her waist. So what I want you to do, Caroline, is I want you to just kind of bring your hands back like this, beautiful. And so we will have to adjust the bump a little bit, right, in the other hand, but this way I'm seeing her waist through the elbow, and this is creating a line that draws to the bump. Let's talk now about the head-on portraits with maternity clients. This is especially depending on what the garment your client is wearing, whether it's bodycon or something flowy. A lot of the times with these head-on shots, you don't always see the bump because it's an illusion with how the dress or the top is falling. So this is where you really want to be able to highlight the curve of the circle of the bump. So I want you to put one hand above the bump and one hand below the bump. Okay, perfect, gorgeous. Now, Caroline, can I have you put both hands underneath the bump? Perfect, that is very cute. If your client is just putting her hands on this side, we're not creating any shape with the bump. So that's why you really want to have it tucked and tight. This is why I prefer with maternity photos to do a lot more in the 3/4. So I'm gonna have you turn to the side just a little bit for me. Okay, there we go. See that little change? Now I'm seeing more of the bump versus the straight on. When it comes to the placement of the background with your client, and depending on if she's wearing a light dress or a dark dress, where are you gonna place her in correspondence to the background? So here during golden hour, we have the dark trees, and we also have the bright light. If your client's wearing a dark dress, you don't want to necessarily place her against the dark trees of the background. Instead, you want to put her into the light so that it contrasts with the outfit, and with the light, you can be strategic. you can have that light come and pour in where it creates this halo around the bump. Again, it's going to depend on where you're at, what time of day you're shooting, what outfit your client has on, but these little choices stylistically will make a big difference in highlighting the bump and your subject. Lift your face ever so high for me. Yeah, beautiful. Roll the shoulder back and yeah, beautiful, beautiful. And then with your backhand, can you cup it a little bit further? Yes, beautiful, beautiful. Okay, gorge. Okay, beautiful. This is a great example of really needing to highlight the bump with a flowy dress. So do you mind turning to the side for me real quick and dropping your hands? So see, this way, we can still clearly see the bump, but there's still not a lot of silhouette happening. So that's why it's important to cup the bump for me real quick. See how that just instantly kind of creates something. Now I'm gonna have you turn forward towards the camera. So with this is like a great example of the straight on shot that you kind of want to modify. So here she's cupping the bump, but if you drop your hands real quick, it's not going to have much dimension because especially with this fabric, it can look very one-dimensional. Okay, that is so cute. And then swing your elbows ever so slightly out. Yes, perfect. Gorge. That's so cute. And then turn to the side for me. Beautiful. Oh my gosh. And then with this elbow, you're going to really crank it back. And then with your other hand, you're going to scoop it forward. Yes, beautiful. Oh my gosh. And then look at me. You look so pretty. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. The light right now is everything. I'm going to adjust ever so slightly and then touch the top of the bump again. Beautiful. Gorge. Okay, I'm going to have you walk towards me. Beautiful. Gorge, gorge, gorge. Oh my gosh, love it. And then stop right there for me. Beautiful. Super pretty. Now I'm gonna have you come and stand right in this light right here. Roll your shoulders back for me and then swing those elbows out. Yeah, gorge. Even though it might feel weird that you're swinging your elbows like out, I'm just able to create a really beautiful shape, especially with the big V. It already does create like kind of these lines with the garment. And then with this hand, how far can you scoop? Yeah, beautiful, beautiful. Drop a little bit. Yes, beautiful. Gorgeous. Here's an example of when we're not going to have the bump highlighted in the same way that we have been doing. So obviously she's turned to the side and the bump is highlighted because of the sun coming through, and with the dress it's like a gauzy material, so we actually see the silhouette of the bump. And because I have her her hands on her hips, it creates dimension with the triangles, and in this particular light the bump is still highlighted, but you might need to do a little adjustment. So for example, Caroline, can you swing your shoulders straight forward a little bit more? Okay, gorgeous. Now swing towards me again. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Then with your backhand, can you put it underneath the bump? And the other one, yep, beautiful. Perfection. Oh, that's so cute. With your hand that's on top, slide it actually down ever so slightly. Yes, beautiful, beautiful. With maternity photos, I suggest shooting with the intention of the frame. Think about that your client is probably gonna print these kind of milestone moments, and you want to have more white space than you might traditionally have with your other photos, so that then if your client wants wall art printed, you're gonna need some wiggle room because different wall art crops differently depending on the size. It's better to shoot with a little bit extra white space than you might normally do because you're shooting for the frame. Beautiful, beautiful. Now I'm gonna have you walk just 2 steps towards me. Gorge, gorge, gorge. Beautiful. And then I'm gonna have you walk 2 more steps towards me. Gorgeous, looking at me. Yeah, gorge. Oh my gosh, so cute. The light, you look so gorge. Gorgeous. And then look down at the bump. The bump be like. Oh my gosh, the light right now is so... Now with this, I'm gonna have you bring that elbow back again. Yeah, gorge, gorge, gorge. And then can you scoop your hand even... Yeah, beautiful, beautiful. And then lift your face up ever so slightly. Oh my gosh, that's so pretty. I love this like 3/4 moment. If you're a photographer who's looking to join a kind, encouraging, and inclusive photography community, check out my free Facebook group called Build and Bloom. This is the best place to ask questions about your specific photography business without fear of judgment. Whether you want feedback on pricing or how to respond to a difficult client situation, Build and Bloom is my best free resource. You can find it over on Facebook group, and you can listen and learn to the Build and Bloom Photography podcast wherever you get your podcast. I believe in you and I believe in your business. Be sure to hit subscribe so you're the first to know when new free videos for your business come out, and I will see you in my next video. Click right here to watch and to learn. I'll see you there.